Good morning, everybody. So I'm going to film in my car before I clock in for the day. So I thought I would talk about sewing business owners, actually give you some tips. Okay, so this video is about how I fund my sewing company. Now, I have a newly formed LLC. It's about 6 months old. And with this LLC, it is self-funded at this point. Now, obviously, I'm looking for, business loans or things like that for some of the equipment that I need. And I also need a commercial building. But if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Right now, it's a small scale sewing company, and here's some ideas if you're in the same type of boat that I'm in. Okay, so number one way that I fund my business is I work a full-time day job, and I take a percentage of that paycheck after taxes. Okay, after I help pay some of the household bills, I am left with a percentage for my company. Now, my husband and I decided what that percentage would be, so that way that's not something that I'm just winging it. We've actually talked about this and made a plan. So you might have to get a job to help self-fund your company. Now, the second way is, as I sell my items, like right now, my Etsy store has, I think I have 4 or 5 face masks left that haven't sold. I've sold about a dozen or two in person and through Facebook. So the remainder of those I have listed on Etsy, and my Etsy listings are only 20 cents, right? Eventually I'll move my shop to my main domain name, but that's further down from today. So I make a few items here and there, and I list them on my Etsy shop, as well as I've started a curating sorry, it's very early for me right now. I've curated boxes of mystery contents and items to sell. So I have one of those on Etsy now, and then I have the face masks, and then I have 18 of my vintage skeleton keys that I've been gifted or have collected over the years. Now, meanwhile, after I work my day job, I go home, I work out and spend some time with the family. Then I go to what I call my sewing studio, and I create another product to list on Etsy. So my goal has always been to list at least one thing every night on Etsy. All right, number 3. Now, sometimes I do this, but I really did number 3 a lot in the beginning of my company, and I accepted custom orders, and I talk more about that on my main website at stephaniegrahams.com. So for years I accepted custom orders for mixed media art dolls, and I can't really get into details about those right now, but if you go to the website, I have it listed somewhere on there, but I rarely take those anymore, okay, because my business has moved along quickly where I just don't have the time to always accept custom orders. But this is what I did with the custom order. I collected half of the total with a non-refundable policy on the contract. So I did not, how did I say this? My customers knew that when we verbally discussed the custom project that they wanted done, and the artistic mediums that were required, fabric, wire, felt, different types of paint, needles and thread, all of that played a part in these custom pieces that I made. I actually wrote down the quantity of each item. I put a price to that. The half down before the project was even started was non-refundable, because that is the money I use to buy the products to make their item if I already did not have it on hand. Now, obviously, I don't share all those details with their client because they don't care about that. Then I collected the remainder of the amount before I delivered the product. What I did was I sent them pictures of the stages as I created their item. That way, if they didn't like the original color paint for the fabric doll's face, it wasn't too late for them to change their mind. Took me no time at all to change the color. That way they had a say in the production of their item, and I had proof that they were agreeing that they liked the item being made, okay? So it worked out for both of us. And let's see here. After I collected the remainder of the agreed upon price, I never charged more than what I had quoted them, ever. I think that's just, that's kind of dirty business right there. I took that money and reinvested it into the sewing business. Now, I made a little bit of a profit, but not a lot. And it was but if you're not careful, your business, no matter what it is, whether it's sewing or not, it can become a very expensive hobby if you're not careful. So I think planning and writing things down and maybe speaking to somebody that's in the same field you are, business-wise, get some advice from them. Mentorship would be a good idea. And I hope this gave you some creative ways to get your sewing company or sewing business up and running. I hope you have a great day. Stay safe and healthy and enjoy. I hope you have some sunlight. We do here in Ohio, finally. All right, bye guys.